Na, 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 na. And then Marie-Pierre says, well, that's Christmas. Okay, you know what I'm getting a lot of? Just before we get started with the podcast, The Millionaire with the Diamonds, LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
link. There you go. I'm getting a lot of, I can help you with your Apple podcast. I can help you with your Apple podcast. Why are they sending me that? You don't know, eh? Okay.
Because you post about the podcast.
Good morning, my friends. I'm Maria Mariano, celebrating 43 years in 2026 in the Tupperware business. You got to be insane. 43 years. People retire generally when they start very young. I was reading something said the average time people will work at one single place, like back in the 70s or whatever, was like 35 years. And it was, woo! And here I am going into my 43rd year. Can you imagine that? I can't. Anyways, that being said, today's podcast absolutely speaks to me a lot, a lot, a lot. Why? Because it's not about more hustle. It's actually about less. So we're going to talk about clarity, alignment, and choosing truly what matters. What's written down here for me is the wisdom of time. And I've got a couple of stories for you this morning. So especially when you're highly driven like myself, when you're highly ambitious like myself, I'm just going to talk about myself. Like everything in my life has been a competition. To clean the house faster than my mom, like dry dishes faster than the one who's washing, or wash dishes faster than the three people. Like I'm just driven. I just love to play. I call it playing, right? And especially when you love building, creating, leading, contributing. Like my sister says to me, don't you get tired? And I looked at her. I said, don't you get tired from not doing enough? I mean, I watch people not doing enough, and I get tired if I watch these people not doing enough. I really love to be like, oh. And this section is something that really landed with me, because wiser with where your time, energy, and voice goes is the most essential thing. And that's what I've truly been able to do with COVID happening. Seriously, I had so much more in me, and it was able to come out because there was how would I say this? There was no more all these hands. I visualize all these hands trying to grab a piece of me. Wasn't there a song, A Piece of Me, or something like that? Maybe Britney Spears or something like that. Oh, not a good example. Anyways, that's it. So today it's all about condense, correct, and edit less. But before we go there, we're going to go over to you, Marie-Pierre, to help us share. And once again, why be at that conference on Saturday?
Yes. Okay. So first thing, we want to share the podcast this morning. So click on the arrow just beside where you write your comment, so you can share on every social media platform. And in the comment, write the what you can copy paste it so people understand why you decide to share the podcast this morning. And if you have someone in mind that you really want them to listen to the podcast, the best way to make sure they will listen is to share it directly by messenger or text message. So again, you click on the arrow and you send it directly to that person. Then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group called Les Millionnaires des Diamants Inspirational Group, every time you post on the group that you comment or you leave a reaction, you gain points during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. Then we have a draw at the end of each month. To be in the draw, there's two ways. First, with the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So you order, you take a picture, you receive your order, you take a picture, and you post on social media and tag Marie Mariano and Les Millionnaires des Diamants. Then the second way is with the books Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So you receive one of the books, you take a picture. You're doing one of the chapter, you take a picture. You're reading you're doing one of the quiz book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the workbook, again, you can take a picture. You're using the agenda Les Millionnaires des Diamants, you can take a picture. So every day you can have a new picture that you post on social media, and you tag Maria Mariano and Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw. And we have the conference coming up this weekend. So if you don't already have your ticket, click on the link in the comment, are in the description of the live, and you can get your ticket directly from there to be with us. And it's a virtual conference, so it's all around the world. So no matter where you are, you can join us. And even if you cannot be with us during live, you can watch it in replay. So at the moment that it's best for you, you can watch it. You will receive the link to watch it in replay after that. So it's really for everyone, and it's the best moment at the beginning of the year to go to that kind of conference, because you need that 5-degree change to make a difference. So 2026 is not the same as 2025. You want something different, you need to do something different. And usually you have a good idea on the 1st of January, and it's just a good idea. Now at the conference, it's going to become a plan. So you can really have something different doing it this year. So voila, if you don't already have your ticket, click on the link to be with us this weekend.
Thank you so much. So let's dive in. I want to say welcome to Lise that I see listening this morning. The crew, James, I love that. Good morning to the crew. Hi, Monique, Kendra, and Carolyn. I love this, what you guys are doing. This is relationship building for real with real purpose, right? So, if you can just, Monique, do a little quick takeaway. It's going to last less than 30 minutes, the podcast. What is your quick takeaway? And I have Louise with us. And do I see Martin? Olga's there. Good morning. Good morning. Martin, yes, he's there. Just making sure. I have an eye on you. Okay. So let's dive in right away. Let's talk about condense. That's going to be my part today. Okay. Online from the book really what really one line that from the book really stuck to me: doing less can be harder, but it's an art to be able to master doing less. Okay, now you have to understand, I am hyperactive, I'm OCD. I'm going to give you all my quick little defaults that I have. So doing less is extremely hard for me because I love being in motion. I love being busy, and I love being busy in silence, by the way. So that's very important because it's my time to think. And all I can tell you after reading this line, he is absolutely right. So condensing is not about rushing. It's not about cutting corners. It's about making every word, every meeting, every action count. So condense means saying what matters here actually. The same thing as the podcast. We're reading the segment and we have to say to ourselves what actually matters as clearly and as concisely as possible. Not more words, not more explanation, but more meaning. And this is an art. Okay, so I'll be very honest with you. For those that don't know me for a very, very, very long time, there was a time in my life, and Jean-Philippe, you're over 10 years, you're going to remember this. What I could have said in 1 minute, I would take 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. There was a running joke here. I remember once Sylvain says to me, what does Socrates mean by he who doesn't know, he doesn't know? And everybody, Annie was there, Marie-Pierre was there, Julie Chaillet was there, Melanie Miller was there. They were all going, shh, because they knew by that question, I would take 20 minutes to 2 hours to explain to Sylvain, even if it was 2:00 in the morning, what Socrates meant from, et cetera, a really good time. Sometimes I miss those times. Okay. Not because I didn't know my subject, quite on the contrary, right? It's just that I thought I had to say it from A to Z, which is not the case. And then something fascinating really, really happened. When COVID hit and we started doing these meetings, or even the A team right after a meeting with the A team by Zoom, now timers are involved in the virtual meeting. Like, we realized that more than an hour, we just lose their attention. So we were forced to prepare. So even with the podcast, I no longer arrive spontaneously because I have the experience. I'm comfortable expressing myself, because that is dangerous. I will go over my time. So we went from meetings. Marie-Pierre, I don't know if you were there back in the days, but we used to start at 7 p.m. and by 11 p.m., sometimes we would be done. I have a world record that the meeting finished at almost 11:30, by the way. And I remember Marie-Josée Harel coming up to me. She says, no, this has got to stop, Maria. So what's the real lesson here? that's when I realized something very, very powerful. Condensing isn't about less value. It's not about me giving less. It's not. No, 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 no. It's about saying only what matters. You know, there's the expression, can you talk a little bit less? I understood. I'm intelligent, you know, not underestimating the intelligence of our people. But to better understand this, I just want to bridge it over to Jean Philippe. Condense is the first step. Then comes correct, making sure we're doing things that are aligned with our real vision and mission. And then comes edit less. So a little take on edit less for me, Jean Philippe. Um, Being very highly ambitious, very hyperactive, and etc. I would always be the first in a meeting. Go, I'll do it. It's because of this. Like all the time. Only to realize today that 99.99% of those people in that meeting have no intentions to do anything that is said and are not aiming anything higher than surviving today. So today, even my meetings are delegated. And then I say to Marie Pierre, wrap it up in 3 sentences. And usually she wraps it up in 3 words. Coming from Marie Pierre, 3 words. So, with no further ado, to go a little bit deeper, here's Jean Philippe.
Good morning, everyone. So yes, we want to have a look to those two other principles that will help you, okay, being more essentialist in your life. So the first one is, as Maria said, correct. Okay, so correct means like correcting, aligning our actions with our deeper purpose. So for that, obviously, you need to have a clear vision, mission, purpose, goal. So you cannot correct something that you're not aiming for. So it is really important. That's the reason. This is the basic of life, and this is the basic of your professional life, your businesses, even in your relationship. You need to have a goal for everything. And when you know those goals that they are related to that purpose, that mission, and that vision, this is the moment that you can correct things that are not aligned with those value also. So like an editor who doesn't just cut, okay, but improve its clarity and accuracy. So this is really about, let's think that you are in a jungle and like you want to get over it, so you need to cut some leaf, you need to like, this is about like correcting, just to be sure that you see with clarity and accuracy. And if you remember one of the example that we've talked last week, we were talking about Spielberg, but also Michael Kahn, that is one of the greatest movie editor. But most of the times we don't talk about that category in the Oscars. So in the book, okay, it said that Michael Kahn, who edit the host joined. Okay, I thought I was kicked out of the live. So Michael Kahn, who edited the film of Spielberg, explained that he doesn't always follow the director's exact instruction from Spielberg, but he aimed to achieve what Spielberg truly want, even if Spielberg can't always articulate it. So it's really about be sure that you're getting out of that fog and that you see the clarity. So in your professional life, ask yourself, okay, does this meeting, does this project, or does this habit truly serve my main objective? Okay, and if you lead, okay, a team, and your intention is to foster autonomy, okay, but you micromanage every task and you thought yourself, I'm going to do it myself, it's going to be easier, I'm going to do it myself, I know I can do it better. Well, you're not aligning with what is your deeper purpose. Okay, so here correcting means that you return to your intention, that is about developing autonomy of your people, and you adjust your action, which means that you need to delegate and you need to trust people that it will be done a little bit different. But correcting doesn't mean that you need to change everything. Sometimes the best correction is to edit less, is to leave things alone. Okay, so that principle of edit less, okay, they say that the best editor know when not to intervene. So like a surgeon, okay, the best surgeon isn't the one who operate the most, but is the one who operate just enough. and that is staying in its region. Okay, so if you like you're added to a tense email thread, let's say, okay, so you're at work and like you're working in an office and there is a lot of email, and at some point somebody felt attacked and he like click reply all and he adding the boss in the conversation and all of that. Well, here be an editor, which means instead of like being prompt on those email and your emotion and your reaction, just wait, because most of the times less people that are involved in a problem, okay, easier it is to to solve that problem. So let other express themselves, okay, keep your mouth shut. Okay, I did remember when we were coach doing home party, when we were dating a party, they say the first one to talk is losing the game. Okay, so wait, let other express themselves, and sometimes you will be kicked out of the conversation, and that will be better for you. So yes, in a meeting, also resist the urge to fill the silence by speaking or saying I want to do it, I will, just be like, take your time and appreciate the silence. Okay, because yes, sometimes silence allow important idea to emerge. So editing less mean trusting what already works to avoid adding some complexity on things that are futile. But all of those concepts, those three concepts that we've just talked about, okay, this is an art. It is called the art of continuous correction. Okay, so don't wait too long before doing a correction or like adding something or condense something. Okay, essentialists, okay, doesn't only correct in a crisis, they make editing a daily habit. It's a natural cadence. So let use our conditioning program or our journaling. Okay, so take every 10 minutes every Friday or every Sunday to review your week and ask yourself, what served my main intention this week? Where did I waste my time? Where should I condense? Where should I edit less? Or where should I edit more? Okay, so ask yourself those questions. So by writing it, by asking yourself those questions with a conditioning program, okay, well, you will be able to correct easily, okay, instead of waiting and causing more problem. Okay, so correct, edit less, and make it a cadence into your week, and this will completely change your trajectory and focusing on what is the more essential in your life. So that was my part. Now let's go with Marie-Pierre. Is that a quiz this morning?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always a quiz, because I really realize that what those quiz is that it's just not theory, but now you realize where you are and you can really start making a difference and improve in your life with that. So because many people will confuse that editing with doing more work or revisiting a decision endlessly refining instead of finishing. So the quiz will help you identify how you respond when life feels full. Do you cut too quickly? Do you hesitate? Do you over edit or delay? Or do you edit with clarity and restraint? So, again, you want to answer honestly because it's about awareness and not self criticism. So, for each question, you want to choose the answer that most closely reflect what you usually do. So, let's start with question number one. So, this morning it's A, B, C, or D. So, question number one, when your calendar feels full, how do you respond? So, A, you accept that this is just life. B, you feel overwhelmed, but you don't change much. C, you reorganize it repeatedly without removing anything. Or D, you remove or redesign commitments. Question number two. When you think about your family responsibility, when you have something that really drains you, how do you respond? So, A, you keep doing it out of duty. B, you feel resentful but stay silent. C, you try to make it better instead of addressing it. Or D, you have an honest conversation and reset. Question number three. When you are writing or creating something, so do you A, complete it even if it's imperfect? B, worry about how it will be received? C, keep editing and never feel ready? Or D, release it when it serves its purpose? Question number 4. When it's time to make a decision, what you rely most on? So A, on habit, B, on emotional comfort, C, on perfection and completeness, or D, on purpose and priority. And question number 5, when you receive your feedback, so do you A, take it or leave it, B, feel sensitive to it, C, rework everything repeatedly, or D, extract what is useful? So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, mostly C's, or mostly D's? So if you have it mostly A, you accept too much. So you are the endurer. So you are highly reliable, loyal, and resilient. But your default response is to overload its tolerance instead of choice. So you've learned to live with the tasks that drain you, roles that no longer fit, commitment that belong to a past version of you. So you don't complain, you endure. And over time, endurance quietly turns into fatigue. So it will cost your energy. It's gonna become like a quiet resentment and a sense of living on autopilot. So you want to not realize that not everything you can carry is meant to be carried. And editing for you begin by asking, just because I've always done this, does it still deserve my energy? So that is that first thing to realize it when you want to start to edit. Now, if you have mostly B's, you feel that you don't decide. So you are the aware hesitator. So you are emotionally intelligent and self-aware. You feel when something is off, but you delay on acting on it. So you often say, I know this isn't right, but, or, oh, I just need more time. Oh, I'll deal with that later. So you live in the space between insight and action. So it will cost that mental noise that it's already always there in your head. It's gonna become emotional fatigue or the missed momentum. So clarity is not the problem, but courage is here. So editing for you will mean practicing small, timely decision to make sure that you don't become overwhelmed by those decisions. Now, if you have mostly C's, you over edit and delay. So you are the perfection refiner. So you don't quit, you don't abandon, but you refine and refine and refine again. And you mistake it progress for polish. So you often think that it's almost ready. I'll just want more adjustment. Oh, I want it to be right. So now the over editing becomes a sophisticated form of avoidance. So you stay busy, but it's unfinished. So it's gonna cost you to just complete something. It's gonna cost you on your confidence and just to be in movement forward and not just in movement. So the key for you is that editing is wisdom, but over editing is fear disguised as excellence. So learn to stop with intention. So completion, not perfection, will create your momentum. And now, if you have mostly these, you edit with clarity. So you are the essentialist. You understand the difference between improving and obsessing, refining and delaying, or editing and controlling. So you're comfortable removing things even when others don't understand. So you trust that it's purpose over pressure, impact over appearance, and direction over business. So you create that space, that space that will create power. So you want to protect your mindset because sometimes the world around you will just be like a noise business and you want to protect your mindset. So 3 points to practice true editing. Number 1, define what it's done before you begin. So decide in advance what completion looks like. So when done it's unclear, that's where usually over editing will appear. So decide what is done before you begin. Number 2, separate creation from correction. So create first, edit later. So never do both at the same time. That will really help you to practice the true editing. And number 3, ask the editor question daily. So if I remove this, what would improve? Would it improve your energy, your focus, your peace of mind? So you can really use that question every day because again, editing is not about doing less just for doing less, but it's about making room for what is truly important for you. And sometimes it's the most powerful edit that you can do is to decide to stop editing, okay? So remember both. It's important to edit, but it's important to stop editing at one point. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day, and we will see you tomorrow morning for the next podcast. Bye, everyone.